if you say that the system today results in a whole lot of millions and millions of people who are afraid, who are not willing to get out and seize their own opportunities, then it's a large-scale thing. No, that's what I said. You have a collective agreement. You have a collective agreement with your management. You don't do it alone.
Students targeted parents in a module school and it started. Started agreement with them. Many things. That can happen.
Yes.
Started. Actually, we were talking about competition.
Louder so that they can...
That is my view. That in earlier schools, you don't need competition. You need more of cooperation and sharing and collaboration. But there is a stage in life when competition is necessary as a motivation. But later on, when we are grown up and adults, basically it's self-satisfaction. It's not competition that motivates you. So competition is given stages. It has stages. Yes, it has stages.
What are the stages?
The first, the initial one, when we said advertise these younger kids. Then the second one is competitions are important and therefore you want satisfaction. So it is training basically. Self-actualization. It's training from the beginning.
Self-actualization, Maslow, you're reading too much of American psychology. You won't succeed very much if you're going to read American psychology. American psychology is based on all the insights gained from working with white American males.
Yes, true.
And that's not the normal thing for human beings to imitate all over the world, please. Not white American males. They're not paradigms of virtue.
We relate education to the job that the child will future. And as a society, because of whatever, the culture or insecurities and all that, and always believing that adults know more than young ones. There is, this sounds very interesting and
Ask her, can you give us a little bit more about your experience of this? Why you, I'm talking about you the compare for today. Why you must have spent a lot of time doing your law degree and all that. And then in a certain sense you sort of cancelled that part of your life and then took to another trajectory. Now would it have been better if you had, in the initial stages, somebody had encouraged you to do the things that you came to do later? Because if you're a dancer, for example, at the age of 6 and 10, your body is much more malleable, much more flexible. A little bit later it becomes a little bit more stiff and so on. So there are problems with learning some of these disciplines in a different way. What is your experience?
Well, I mean, when I was a little girl, in fact I have the poem that I wrote when I was about maybe the second grade, which was, I love to dance, I love to sing, I love to fly on a dragon's wing. And I always knew I was a singer and a dancer. And I used to sing all the time. There was music and playing in my room at crazy times at night. They should have really picked up on it. And, but my father was a very disciplinarian kind of person, and he was in the business. And his way was the only way. And I think as kids, even if it's not a conscious decision, that is in your subconscious. That you cannot be anything else. And I remember I used to, I didn't even really contemplate being a singer one day. It wasn't even something that I could get into my consciousness. And I think kids do that. I don't think they actually sit there and hope. I think they would before they're even conscious of their own desires. And I think, in my case, I was fortunate because I went through a process of re-education, which was basically an intensive life coaching program after I had become a lawyer for about 4 years. And that reopened a whole can of worms. And there it was. When was the last time you were truly happy? I found myself writing, singing when I was singing. It was like when I was, 8 years old. So, okay, exercise number 1 is go off and do that thing that you were doing then. So I had to go and find a way to sing. It was this very strange reopening of, an entire lifetime of taking a different path. So through that process of re-education, which was a conscious decision on my part, because I was not not happy being a lawyer. I mean, I was very successful, and my father was thrilled. And he used to tell everyone very proudly that, oh, my daughter has been to Oxford. She's a corporate lawyer in London, and everyone was like, wow. My father's like, yeah. And I was like, oh. So, but after that, and when I made the decision to quit that life path and come back here, get in the start, that was the first thing I did. It was all very strange for me, and especially my father, because it was like, well, all that gone to waste, and all the money you spent on your education, and all the hours you slaved away, and there's an element that that's true, and it is kind of a waste of time. And okay, I became financially independent, I got confidence to be able to make my own way in the world. Those are tangible, good things that come out of it. But what could I have been, on this path that I'm on now, my artistic journey, had I had that decade to develop myself? I'll never know.
We'll never know. None of us will, and we'll feel deprived for the rest of our lives.
We have that, like we do allow our children to sing and dance after they with their medicine and engineering.
That's what we call extra.
As if they can.
We call it extracurricular activities.
You want to sing and dance first?
Extracurricular activities.
Something in life.
But that's something fundamentally wrong. You have to admit it. I mean, all of you in this room, you have to admit it. That the best
Call
part.
it extra anymore, it's all
co-curricular.
We don't
Now,
call it extra
now it's
anymore,
called
it's
co-curricular. So it's given some dignity. It's given some dignity because it's not outside the curriculum. But it's,
nothing outside the curriculum.
What she just related, I think it was diversity which led to versatility later on. And I'd rather keep this for my son. Because he comes from school, after having his lunch, he turns on the internet and he goes on to Michael Jackson songs. And he dances with them for like an hour or so until his mother says, no, it's time to study. So I'd let him evolve the way he wants to. He's doing well in school, he's doing well at dancing, he can do various lean things and the styles which Michael Jackson has. And taking her example, for example, I could quote that to him as well. I think I'd keep it the way he is and not rush his future career.
Excuse me, what about those children who are not doing well in school?
That's right,
Are they not allowed to dance to Michael?
No, but what is this? I again have a problem with language. What is this doing well in school and not doing well in school?
I was quoting him.
See, according to my
I was
criteria,
quoting him.
the society is immensely benefited the higher the dropout rate. I'm making it very clear. The greater the dropout rate, the more creative that society is going to be. Because otherwise they're all getting straight jacketed in this system. So when you say that somebody is functioning well, is doing well in school, what do you mean?
I was actually referring to what he said. He said he was doing well in school, so I allowed him to dance to Michael Jackson songs. So what if he was not doing? You would stop him from
So you got to
dancing?
answer that question.
No, I am going to answer that question. When things are happening naturally, why intervene and let them go the other way? If they're already there and I just have to maybe I can enjoy that law. I am impressed by what he does. What if he's doing 2 or 3 things simultaneously and doing them to his own satisfaction?
My question was, what if he was, according to you, not doing well in school?
I would still allow it. Seriously.
Okay, fine.
The reason being, I am a teacher, not probably because I wanted to, but it's just because the time was such, and I dropped into the profession. I've always tried to find my way out, but I've not been able to work it out as yet. But I'll see that if I can bring out an opportunity for my son, where he needs to come out of something, and I at least should be there to let it happen. Yeah.
Because a lot of parents are doing that. According to their mindsets, if they're not doing well in school, they deprive them of their so-called extracurricular, co-curricular activity. That's what they're doing. So I just wanted to know, because you link those two things together. That's
So I'm glad that you reached more or less a conclusion that some parents should be banned.
I have made mistakes as a parent, and I have witnesses sitting here. I forced my daughter to take the subjects that she didn't want to, and she was very unhappy. But thank God, with the support of her teachers, with their support and their counseling, I let her choose what she wanted to, and she's happy. But that's why I was raising my hand when you were talking about parents. It's I think parents also want help. And my question is, how can parents and where do parents get help regarding their children, like similarly?
Somebody raised the issue, were there parents in today's session? But even if parents come for a session like this, in general, they would not be able to really, understand maybe some of these issues. But they should be brought in separately as groups. We have this PTAs
But I
in
think
schools.
parents are becoming aware. They are becoming aware. They are realizing the mistakes because what our parents did with us, they forced us to do what they wanted us to do.
We are all parents, but let me frankly ask you as parents, how many of you have told your children what they should do?
I did, and I learned from a mistake.
She said she did made a mistake. We have another case. What about you?
Are we supposed to leave things like that whatever will be, and just listing is there and leave everything and let it be?
No,
Are we supposed to?
the word parent
As a
means
parent,
that you have to look after. But I'm saying that in the guise, under the guise of looking after, we are trying to relive their lives for them.
Yes.
That is something which is objectionable.
I as a mother, I never tell them that you be a doctor or engineer or whatever. I just tell them be a good human being. And as long as I'm living, don't humiliate me at least with whatever you do.
But we should accept the mistake.
Don't bring a bad name to the family by taking jobs or
I
something.
being an emotional mother and all that. I keep telling them, Janu, you are getting degree and education for yourself. But as far as I'm concerned, I want you to be a good human being, a good responsible person of the society. That's what I would like him to be when he grows up, inshallah. So that is my part of conveying this message. But then again, when I think of all the harsh realities, then I'm afraid that he might be a failure one day. If he is not going to, go for good grades and
One by one, yes.
Again, I was actually confused initially.
Yeah.
As she said that there are so many internal and external issues related to freedom in the classroom. You cannot summon teachers and tell them that they have to adopt this new criteria. Until and unless you take the policymakers, the parents, again your age and my age and the teacher. And then the general mindset of the child as well. Of the place we live in our society, we need to cater all these teachers. And it will come after a very long time, and it will take a lot of effort by everyone of us. All part of society. It is a very altogether change has to come. It's revolutionary.
Let me hear what you have to say. First time we're talking.
I've been talking from the back.
Yeah.